Howdy y'all, I got the Bulldog on the channel. Got a Dodge pickup here, half ton, 4-wheel drive. Now this thing has had some small issues, nothing major yet, but this, I could have ended up being there. They went on a trip, and before they went on their trip, I had checked it over, and I pointed out an antifreeze leak. It had just started, I guess. And I checked the antifreeze, and it was not low before their trip. They went on their trip, they came back. Now when they came back, it turned cold here, very cold. And I'll show you what they were dealing with. I saw it, I pointed it out because we had a cold snap right before they left. And I told them to keep an eye on it. Well, they got back, and I don't know if they checked it or not, but then they said they had no heat. I am immediately thinking heater core or something like that. Trying to figure out, well, is the blower motor even blowing? That kind of thing. And then he said, you just touch the throttle a little bit, and then you start getting heat. I had to think about that for a while. I was upset about other things, so my mind wasn't working all that great. Well, when I got to thinking, I wonder if it has any antifreeze in it, because I had remembered that leak. Well, I get there, I pop the hood, I look, the overflow's empty. I took the radiator cap off, looked down in there, couldn't see anything. So I let them know. Why? Well, it leaked. Here's the issue. I had showed them before they left that right underneath the thermostat, it was leaking, but it was wet underneath there, and they hadn't seen any leaks anywhere. Well, I saw that, you see that red, that's a rubber seal. Now, if I get you lined up here, you feel across that seal. There we go. That's completely flat across there. So what's going on is that rubber has gotten old, shrunk up a little bit, and then when the cold snap hit, it shrunk up all the way, and when it's bitter cold, it just leaks right past it. You fire it up, and the engine warms up, it swells back up. And once it swells back up, since it only leaked cold, it dried off all the antifreeze there and didn't even leave a stain. I mean, you couldn't tell that there was a leak. I pressured the thing here, and I could see where it was leaking in their driveway. They're on my way to work here, so I'll stop by their place. She's a child care professional, so she can't leave during the day. She's got all the kids there, so stop by. And like today, I picked up their truck and brought it down here. It's not a big deal. Well, I looked at it, and I could watch it drip out of that gasket when it was cold, bitterly cold. Get it up in here and put the pressure tester up, won't leak a drop. Now, I went by last night with a gallon of antifreeze, mixed, and I dumped it in the radiator, and just about the whole gallon went in the radiator. It was way low. And I fired the truck up, sitting there running, and I looked down there underneath the thermostat, and it was all wet where the antifreeze had been dripping. 5 minutes, no drip. 10 minutes, no evidence it had ever leaked. It dried off. The heat just boiled it off. I never touched the throttle or nothing. I just let it warm up there and felt to the hoses. I started getting heat circulating through the heater core and felt inside. Started having heat. That was what it was. It was just low, just that low. The system relies on circulation, just like electricity relies on a loop on a DC system. Your cooling system relies on circulation to make everything work. Your heat inside is engine heat based, so it has to circulate. And they put these hoses down on the bottom of the system, but then the heater core is way up high, so it'll get an air bubble in it. If the system's low, it'll seep down, have air up there at the heater core, and in an idle, there's not enough water pressure to push the air on through it and get it to start circulating. So you have to get some RPM in it to get it to circulate through there if the system's low. Systems are known to airlock for that. Whenever you've had one down like this and then you fill them back up, if you have something that where the hoses hook up down low and then they go up high, you might have to take a heater hose off up high, even though you've never messed with it. Take that heater hose off and let all the air out. Get it to where there's not much air there, because the water pump is designed to pump a liquid, not air. So if it's airlocked, got a hole, if it's completely empty up there, it won't bleed out. It can't. It doesn't know. It can't pump enough water pressure till it gets to an awfully high RPM, and then it's running with no coolant. So, that's another tip. Bleed the air out of the system when you're dealing with it. I'm going to put a thermostat in it. This unit here seals a lot thicker. It doesn't need a thermostat, I don't think, but we're in there. Remember too, that jiggle valve in there, that's to bleed the air from behind the thermostat so that it doesn't airlock. Always index that on top. That way the thermostat is submerged in coolant. It won't open with air pressure, with air temperature. It'll open with water temperature. It has to get melting down hot before it'll open up with air behind it. So there you go. Put that jiggle valve on top whenever you put it back together. Like, comment, subscribe, hit your little bell notification, share it all around. We'll talk to you later.